The Seventh Path. By the time Esther realized she was lost, the forest had become unnaturally silent. Not the familiar quiet of night, broken by insects or distant owls, but a dense, suffocating stillness, as if the world itself were holding its breath. Her phone had died hours earlier, and the path she could have sworn was straight on the way in, now twisted between the trees like something alive. Esther stopped. The darkness did not merely surround her, it watched. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory, whispering stories from Esther's childhood about the paths that must never be taken, trails that didn't exist on any map, opening only to careless souls. Esther had laughed back then. She wasn't laughing now. Strange markings appeared on the ground, scratches, circles, interlocking lines, too deliberate to be natural. One worn symbol stood out among them, 7 crescent moons turning inward. When she stepped over it, the air changed. The trees thickened, their bark pulsing darkly as if something inside them was breathing. The wind began to whisper, not words, but promises. Thoughts Esther had never spoken aloud, her loneliness, her fear that no one would truly remember her when she was gone. Come further, a voice urged, and she knew she wasn't hearing it with her ears. She reached a clearing. At its center stood a stone altar, covered in candle wax, dark stains of dried blood, and an open book. Its pages turned by themselves, stopping at a language Esther had never learned, yet somehow understood. These were not words, they were instructions. Figures emerged at the edge of the clearing. Not shadows, but people, too still to be alive. All women, all with empty eyes, all painfully, disturbingly lost. Esther stepped back, but the path behind her was gone. The book snapped shut. The ground trembled. A voice spoke, deep, calm, disguised as mercy. You chose the 7th path. Now you will complete what is missing. Esther tried to scream, but her voice never left her throat. Cold spread through her body as if something were being pulled out from within, everything that made her human. Her memories began to unravel, her reflection in the mirror, an old laugh, the warmth of a hand in hers. None of it mattered anymore. The figures moved closer. When they touched her, it didn't hurt. It was worse. It felt familiar, as if she had always belonged here. As dawn approached, the forest returned to its usual sounds. Birds sang. A pair of hikers passed near the clearing and paused for a moment. That's strange, the woman said quietly. It feels like someone's watching us. The man shrugged, and they walked on. The altar stood empty. The book was closed. The trees were still. And the paths, there were 6 now, not 7. If someone had looked closely between the trees, they might have noticed a new figure standing there. A woman, motionless, with hollow eyes. She was no longer lost. She had become the path.